Hello everyone. In this review we're going to talk about the Viltrox 27mm f1.2 lens. This is a lens that I've been using for quite a while, and it's a tricky one to review. There are a tons of reviews about the lens on the internet, so I thought let's skip the technical specifications for now and start with the most important thing: image quality. And another thing, this is my lens. I bought it with my own money. However, I'm not going to talk about how this lens performs on a brick wall or on a chart to see how sharp it is. Let's start with the fundamental and the basic thing. This lens has a Pro badge, and it definitely lives up to that badge. Because if you put a Pro badge on a lens, it should be capable of professional use. And this lens is no exception. Combining an 1.2 aperture with a Pro badge means it should perform at a professional level, wide open. And I'm happy to inform you that this lens does. Reviewing this lens has been tricky because it's simply good and it's an excellent performer. And I've struggled to figure out how I should review it to give my unique perspective. But I've grown pretty fond of this lens, and it's a keeper for me. I have no intentions of trading it or selling it because it checks two boxes. It's a 27mm lens, equivalent to 40mm on a full frame, which I've grown very fond of. And it has a certain vibe that stands out in an excellent way. This lens sits almost on my camera all the time. Its exceptional sharpness, edge to S, has kind of ruined the way I feel about other lenses and even other cameras. This lens is just that good. And if we compare it to other 1.2 lenses like the Sony GM 50mm or the new Fuji 56, they share the same qualities. They are exceptionally good, wide open, with no technical issues. And they just get the job done. Out of the box, this lens isn't what you would define as a character lens, but it has a certain character like all lenses. And the character of this is technical superiority. This lens has the unique ability of almost being a 35mm if you step forward, and 23 if you take a step back. And it pairs exceptionally well with the Pro Mist filter, adding a very nice vibe to an already sharp and detailed image. I mostly used this lens on the Fujifilm X-T5, but there's also versions for Nikon and Sony. On the X-T5, however, with its demanding 40-megapixel sensor, this lens has a lot of resolving power, giving a combination that almost feels like medium format. A look with a huge amount of details, yet that pleasing softness. This combination adds to unique character compared to other setups, likely due to the X-Trans sensor, the lens, and the camera all working in a perfect harmony together. I've used the lens for various photography styles like street photography, portraits, documentary works, and much more. Also to mention dogs. It performs very well in every situation, but being an f1.2 lens, sometimes you miss focus. But overall, I have no issues with autofocus, even on my Fujifilm. I use focusing aids like face and eye detection, and I prefer continuous autofocus mode, which helps me to achieve a high percentage of in-focus shots. Some people have complained about this lens being big, well, mostly Fujifilm users, comparing it to other Fujifilm lenses. But comparing it to an 2.8 pancake isn't fair. And if you compare it to other lenses that are 1.2, it's about the same size. However, for me, it makes sense to bring both the 1.2 and Fujifilm 27mm pancake with me in my bag. Most of the time I use the f1.2 wide open, but if I want something smaller I could just put on the pancake. And best of all, with that combination, I never have the dilemma of which focal length I should use in a certain situation. It's all about size. I also conducted a test where I compared the Fujifilm 27 2.8 wide open against the Viltrox, and what I want to show with that test is the difference in background blur between 1.2 and 2.8, and the results were striking. The Viltrox 1.2 produced a much creamier and more pronounced background blur, making the subject pop out of the frame, very beautifully separated from the background. This is a key advantage of the 1.2 aperture, which provides a significant creative tool for achieving images with a dreamy background. This lens is built completely in metal, with an excellent build quality. Compared to the Sony 50mm 1.2, this lens is better built, for a fraction of the price. The aperture ring has clicks, though I wish they were a little bit more solid. It also comes with a hood, but I prefer it without the hood, because the flare control and the coatings are top-notch, and I want my things to be as small as they possibly can. A testament to the build quality is when I fell in Copenhagen while being thrown bottles at. This lens got a scratch, but still works fine. It's a world wound, proving its durability. I guess this review is more like a tribute to this lens. And if you're considering to buying it, I say go for it. It's unique, and at $600 US, it's a great value. Yes, it's maybe on the bigger side, but it's still manageable. And if you're worried about the size, remember, it is an f1.2 lens. So that's a trade-off well worth taking. Sometimes reviewing good things can be boring because there's not much to say. This lens is just that good, and it serves its purpose exceptionally well. I'm glad to own it and use this lens. It provides a unique aesthetic that no other lens in the Fujifilm lineup can achieve, and it outshines many other lenses. If you like this content and you want to see more, consider subscribing to my channel. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.